Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Better Journey. Yesterday, we tackled why students waste time. Today, we're leveling up. We're talking about the 80-20 rule, one of the most powerful hacks for studying smarter, not harder.
Yes, and no, this isn't some boring math lecture. The 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto principle, is simple. 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. And for students, that means a small part of your study material actually gives you the majority of your grades.
Exactly. Think about it. In every class, not every chapter, not every question, and not every note is equally important. But most students act like everything matters the same.
And that's where the waste comes in. You spend hours memorizing 100% of the material, but only 20% will really impact your tests, projects, or essays.
Here's an example. Imagine you're studying history. Out of 10 chapters, maybe just 2-3 chapters contain 80% of the key events your teacher focuses on in exams. If you realize this early, you can focus smarter and save hours of wasted time.
Exactly. And this doesn't mean ignoring the rest. It means prioritizing. Learn the 20% deeply, understand it well, and then skim or review the rest. That's real efficiency.
But here's the catch. Students rarely know which 20% matters most. Most just guess. And guess what? That's how time gets wasted again.
Today, we're going to give you a simple method to find your 20%. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly where to focus instead of spinning your wheels. All right, Mike, let's get practical. How does a student actually find their 20%?
Step 1, look at past tests, assignments, and teacher hints. Teachers often emphasize certain topics repeatedly. That's a huge clue.
Exactly. Step 2, ask yourself which parts of this material will appear most often on exams. Sometimes it's in bold, sometimes it's in lecture slides, or even repeated in class discussions.
Step 3, track your own results. Keep a small notebook or digital note. After each study session, write down what questions you felt confident about and what topics really mattered. Over time, patterns appear. That's your 20%.
And don't forget the study time ratio. Focus about 80% of your study time on that 20% of high-impact material, and leave the remaining 20% of time for less important topics.
Here's a common mistake. Students spend 50% of their time on low-value topics just because they're easier or more interesting. Big mistake. Easy topics rarely give big results.
Exactly. Challenge yourself. Spend more time on the tricky, high-impact topics. That's where the magic happens.
And a bonus tip, combine this with active recall from day one. Focus on your 20% material using active recall techniques. Explain it out loud, quiz yourself, or teach it to someone else.
Yes, that's the combo. Pareto plus active recall equals study superpower. It's smarter, not harder. You're working less but achieving more.
Jessica, let's talk about a real-life scenario. Imagine a student, Sarah. She has a big biology exam in a week. Most students would try to memorize every chapter, hours of reading, notes, and videos.
Right, but Sarah decides to apply the 80-20 rule. She reviews her teacher's hints, past quizzes, and lecture slides. She identifies the 2 chapters that are most likely to cover 80% of the test questions.
So instead of cramming the whole book, she dives deep into the high-impact chapters, practicing active recall, making one-page summaries, and testing herself.
By the end of the week, she's mastered the crucial material and still has energy to lightly review the remaining chapters.
And the results? Sarah scores high on the exam, spends less time stressing, and actually enjoys the learning process.
Exactly, and that's what studying smart is all about. It's not about grinding endlessly. It's about focusing on what truly matters.
Another key point, the 80-20 rule works for every subject. Math, focus on the problem types that appear most. History, focus on key events and timelines. English, focus on grammar patterns that teachers test often.
Yes, and students, don't underestimate tracking your progress. Each time you identify the high-impact topics and see your results improve, it reinforces the strategy.
The more you practice, the easier it becomes to spot your 20% for any subject. And honestly, once you get this skill, studying will feel less overwhelming and more strategic.
All right, Mike, let's wrap up today with some actionable takeaways.
Step 1, identify your high-impact material. Look at past tests, teacher hints, lecture slides, or repeated topics in class.
Step 2, Spend most of your study time on that 20%. Don't get distracted by the easy or less important stuff. Focus on what actually drives results.
Step 3, combine with active recall. Test yourself, explain concepts out loud, or teach a friend. This ensures the material sticks.
Step 4, track your progress. Notice which topics improve your scores the most. Over time, your brain will start automatically identifying the 20% that matters.
And here's a bonus tip for students. Don't be afraid to adjust your 20% as exams approach. Sometimes patterns change or teachers emphasize new points. Stay flexible.
Exactly. Studying smart isn't rigid, it's strategic. And remember, the 80-20 rule isn't just for exams. It works for projects, assignments, or even daily homework. So your homework for day 2. 1. Identify the high-impact 20% in one subject. 2. Focus the majority of your study session on that material. 3. Use active recall to strengthen memory. 4. Track your progress and adjust if needed.
Follow this, and tomorrow we'll talk about how to identify your top 3 high-impact tasks, even beyond the classroom. That's where productivity starts skyrocketing.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this episode useful. Remember, work smart, not hard.